Those stressors can be, family-based, so we want to recognize some techniques to provide support to our families. And also discussing ways to stay positive throughout the day. There is a lot of little things that we're going to talk about, just tiny little things that you can insert into your day to make it more of a relaxed, fun, joyful experience. So we're going to talk about how to add to that joy jar at the end of the session. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Darlene to talk about the benefits of a family child care home.
Thank you, Crystal. The benefits of a family child care home. There are several of them. First, we're going to talk about teacher-to-child bonding. When a child enters your family day home, they almost become like family, and that's so important. You want to have a very good relationship, not only with the child, but with the parents of that child. And that bonding will help to create a wonderful, successful experience within that family day home. Home-like environment. The family day home is not a center, it's a home, and it should have the comfort of being in a home. So that's one thing. You want to make it relaxing and enjoyable for the child to come to your family day home. Smaller group size. Smaller group size helps the child to develop skills that can help them along the way. As they prepare for kindergarten, smaller size groups also helps with brain development. Fewer illnesses. This is so important. Normally in a family day home, because the group is so small, children, especially infants, can have fewer illnesses because there's not a lot of young people in the home. Flexibility. That's a great benefit of being a family child care home provider. You're the boss. You have the opportunity to be flexible with your schedule, and that makes it less stressful at times. Increased sibling interaction. This is a very important one, because the increased sibling interaction helps the young person to build a stronger relationship with his or her sibling, and you take a very important step in providing that opportunity. The bottom line is, when children come to a family day home, they are like your family. Let's talk about some stressors. And as you know, I used to be a family day home provider, and I had a lot of stressors. We're going to look at work versus home. That could be a stressor because you're in your home environment all day long versus going out into the community. Sometimes you could get very irritated with those in your family because you've been in the home all day, haven't gotten any fresh air, which can cause stress. We're going to talk about building with bricks. We're also going to look at always on. You can't turn it off. Where's the water cooler? Because we as women, we enjoy talking. The work day, you're like family, and we're going to touch on burnout. So, if you're following along with us, we're going to stop the activity right now, and we're going to ask you to get out a piece of paper and write down the 5 most stressful parts of your day and rank them 1 through 5, with 5 being the most stressful and 1 being the least stressful. We're going to give you maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do that, and then we'll be right back with you.
So if any of you are having a difficult time deciding what your most stressful parts of the day, think about those times when you kind of feel your body tensing up or getting short or things like that. So it can be drop-off or late pickup or maybe transitioning to mealtime, whatever that might be. So while you're getting your thoughts together, we'll give you about another minute, and then we'll keep moving forward. All right, so we're going to move forward and have a poll.
Yes. This is our Ready Talk poll. Our number one. What was your number one stressor? Was it illnesses, adequate space or storage? Or is it paperwork, record keeping, tardiness, drop off or the pickup, delinquent tuition payments? Or is it isolation, the lack of adult interaction? And lastly, is one of your stressors meal planning? You may take the poll now.
Oh, I see some numbers going in. Nice job, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, we've got isolation, lack of adult interaction in the lead right now. We've got, I know there's more of you out there. Oh, there we go. Adequate space and storage is also taking a good jump. Let's see. All right, give it one more second, and then we're going to close the poll. So go ahead and select your number one stressor. All right, so we're going to look at the results, and it looks like lack of interaction or isolation is the number one stressor for our family day home providers. So, and it number keeps going up. So, yeah, so good. Thank you guys for participating in that. It's good to kind of see where we feel, because, you know, as family day home providers, everybody's day is different. No 2 days are ever the same. So we really appreciate you for participating in that. So let's talk about, illnesses is going up, also adequate space and storage. Oh, and tardiness also, late parents, drop off and pick up also picked up. So thank you guys for participating in that. So we're going to talk about what these stressors can cause. So talking about burnout. Okay, my slide does not want to move forward. I apologize. It's going to get there. There we go. Are you feeling the burn? So let's talk about burnout. So some symptoms of burnout you might recognize: irritability. Your things that are not normally things you get annoyed with or short with are suddenly, a bit bigger. Loss of passion. You have forgotten why you do this. A lot of us do it because we love children and are able, there's so many benefits to being able to work from the home with children, but we have kind of lost that passion. Maybe a loss of patience. You find yourself, again, the irritability kind of tied into it. Maybe feeling a loss of control. You feel like things are happening around you or to you rather than vice versa. Also isolation, like we talked about. You don't necessarily you're not reaching out to those that you used to really enjoy to spend time with. Maybe there's a group that you normally participate with that you really haven't been involved with, just kind of noticing those signs. And also it can be resentment towards families. You find yourself nitpicking or making things bigger than they used to be. And it's important to be honest with ourselves, right? Because as providers, we want to make sure that we are aware of what's going on with us, because that trickles down into our family and our children and everything else. So making sure that we're honest with ourselves and we say, I have noticed these things with myself, so let's talk about some habits to minimize these effects of burnout. Or maybe you haven't gotten there yet, but taking this training, you're like, wait a second, this is going to happen to me. I need to be proactive. And so let's see what those look like. So habits to prevent or heal burnout. Here is our professional ready to heal us of the burnout or prevent the burnout. So work versus home. So remember, this is that stressor that says, hey, I am working from home. I'm constantly here. There's no separation of church and state here. So starting our day in a quiet space, even if it's early, just having some time to yourself. If that means getting up and reading your devotional, or if it means having a cup of coffee or tea in the morning, just having some quiet time for you. Also, rearranging your childcare space. Sometimes it's just freshening things up, rotating toys and art supplies. We're putting away the different fine motor toys, and we're going to take out some different cool puzzles. Or maybe we're going to take out the bobby pins and cotton balls and put away the puzzles. Also, exchanging books. Not having the same set of books out, rotating through them just to freshen things up, or maybe moving the books to a different area. Maybe you normally have them in your playroom, but you're going to move them next to the couch, or maybe at the bottom of the stairs so the kids can sit on the bottom stair and read a book. Whatever that might look like for your space.
And Crystal, I also like to add that having some sunlight to come into your child care area is essential from taking away the blues.
That's right. Vitamin D is a real thing. Redecorating a place in your home just for you, whether it's your bedroom, whether it's your bathroom, whatever it might be, just a space for you to have, and we'll be talking about, where you can spend that space, what the time is that you can spend in that space, but just something that makes it, valuable to you. Also, having a place to unwind at the end of your day, and here's a hint, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't have to be at your house. It can be at the grocery store. I mean, I love to unwind at Farm Fresh, walking up and down the aisle, seeing what they have. There's different places that you can go, even if it's a walk up and down the block. Just something to kind of separate those two spaces for you and kind of end your day in a very meaningful and positive way. So we're going to go into building with bricks. So we're talking about foundations and setting up our foundations. We, as early childhood educators, are setting foundations for our children, but we also want to make sure that we have a solid foundation for ourselves, right? Because we can't give to others unless we are giving to ourselves. So keeping up with your trainings. So number one, it allows you to stay abreast to what's going on with early childhood education. But number two, it also allows you to remember why you love what you do, how you are setting these foundations, and it really just kind of can ignite that fire with a good training. Changing up your routine. Maybe you're going to have snack outside today because it's a really nice day. Or maybe you normally do circle time, but today you're going to do, the kids are showing you that they're feeling antsy, so you're going to do a dance party before circle time. Just changing up your routine a bit. Also, getting outside. I can't stress that enough. We always talk about how just getting outside, even if it's chilly, just a few minutes of fresh air, game of tag, or, well, not necessarily tag, but, ring around the rosy, or pushing trucks, or taking the magnifying glasses outside, whatever it is, just getting outside for a few minutes a day. Obviously, you'd like to have more, and maybe you'll have more later, but just getting outside and getting that fresh air can really help that foundation. Reducing teacher-led art and playtime. Maybe instead of being the leader, you are active in watching them and participating with them, letting the children do the leading. It can take stress off if we have this expectation in our mind of what this art project should look like, and it's not meeting that. Letting the children lead. And it takes the stress off of us, right? It allows them to explore, and it lets them be creative.
And it also shows them leadership, that they have those skills as well.
Absolutely. So it's a win-win in those situations. Singing and putting on music. It can be fun kids music. It can be instrumental music. Whatever allows you to just have some good foundational transitions for them. Also, practicing breathing with your kids. So it not only is a good habit for us as adults, but teaching those children those problem-solving skills. It's so important to teach them how to cope with those emotions. And if you're frustrated and you're taking those deep breaths, let's all breathe together. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Smell the flowers, blow out the candle. Teaching them those skills to allow them and you to have that positive spin with those stressful situations. Because as childhood professionals, we see everything. We see, the good. We see the tummy aches, we see the messes, we see all of that. So just practicing that breathing with our kids and teaching them. Also, some children's yoga. They have cards, they have books. There's a really great book out right now.
And stretching.
Yes, teaching them, just having that time with them and really allow yourself to take a pause. Also helping them help you. So any Jerry Maguire fans out there. If there is a mess at the table, spraying down some soap and water and having them help you with the paper towels to clean that table. Gives them those life skills, teaches them to be, the master of their own destiny, and really is a way that can take some stress off of you as a provider. All right, we're going to talk about Always On with Miss Darlene.
Okay, thank you, Crystal. Always On. First one, get and stay organized. Wow. For a family day provider, sometimes this can be a struggle and also a stressor. There should be a place for everything. So when you start your family day home, or if you're doing family day home care, there should be a place for everything, and that will cut down on your stress. And staying organized. That is a very good tool not only for the providers, but also to teach the young children that come to you. Everything has its place. Easy meals 1 day a week. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they have crock pots. I love a crock pot. Put something in there, let it cook all day. By the time your spouse or your significant other comes home, dinner is halfway prepared. So get in the habit of thinking what meal of day of the week would be easy for me to prepare for my family, because we can't leave our family out. So providing an easy meal 1 day a week could help to relieve some stress. Next one, take a walk in the evenings to turn off. I really suggest this. If you can't take a walk, get in your quiet place. Every woman and every gentleman, you need a quiet place in your home where you can just relax. So you can take a walk in the evenings to turn off, or go to your quiet space. Have a deep breath, maybe drink your favorite beverage, and just chill. Listen to some really nice music, even with your headphones. It makes a wonderful time to relax. Parent communication after hours. Now, we know that things happen and emergencies arise. However, don't make this something that's always available. When the parents come to pick up their children, you may want to have some time to talk to them then. But your time is your time. And so parent communication after hours, please try to handle that with care. Next, sharing parental duties if possible. If you know you have children and they have to go to choir rehearsal or soccer practice, you might want to engage other family members to help to assist with some other parental duties. Trust and believe. I remember as a family day home provider, at the end of the day, I was very tired. So I would seek help from my husband, even from my sister, to help with some other parental duties. And lastly, learn to say no to weekends. Oh my goodness. Weekends are the only time that we can relax, kick back, and spend time with our families, because we give out so much. So learn to say no to weekends. Now, I know that it's a business, but you have to make time for yourself and your significant other. And if you have children, they kind of miss you giving all your love to your daycare children. So let's practice learning to say no to weekends. The next thing we're going to discuss, where's the water cooler? Talk about our social time. A good way to do that is build a network. Wow, coming to trainings. You also get so much information to better yourself in your profession, and you also are with like-minded people who can encourage you sometimes when we get down in our profession. So coming to trainings would be excellent, and that's how you build your network. Next, volunteer. What are you going to say? Well, Darlene, I don't have time to volunteer. Yes, you do. Volunteering is wonderful. That'll get your mind off of daycare for a little bit, and you can do something that you enjoy just as much as being a provider. Volunteer in your community, in your church, in your synagogue. Right there in your community will help relieve some stress. How about hosting a game night with friends? Doesn't that sound fun? Hosting a game night, whether it's playing cards or Monopoly is one of my favorite games. You just want to smile. It's important to smile and laugh because life is very short. The next one, take a workout class. Well, you can always go to your gyms. The YMCA has excellent workout classes, but providers, I have another idea for you. You can go to your cabinet, pull out your can of beans and your can of corn, get some workout music, and lift up those can of corn and string beans, stretch your arms out, and that's your workout class. And guess what? That's free, Crystal.
That's
no
right.
money for that workout
class. No gym membership needed there.
Exactly. And lastly, take a class that interests you. We all have dreams and aspirations. And even though we're excellent teachers and providers, Crystal and I are challenging you today to take a class that interests you. Maybe it might be basket weaving. It might be knitting.
Right. Michael's, your local arts and crafts store has usually free classes that you can take. That's something that you can enjoy.
Yes.
I do see we have a question. So somebody had asked, I don't have any friends that live near me. How do I find friends? So those trainings that we talked about, attending trainings in your area. There's free trainings. You can go on the TIPS calendar on the Department of Social Services website. Also connecting with your local infant toddler specialist to know, what's going on in your local area, to find some providers near you. And who knows, maybe that group is going to become your friends, and you guys can, bounce ideas off of each other, get, different theme weeks, or, whatever it may be, just to kind of find that network of people.
Yes, and I would agree with Crystal. And also, dialing 211. 211 is a community number that you can call and find out what's going on in the community. It's free of charge, and it kind of lets you know if you need information on nursing or anything, child development, things in the community. 211 is an excellent resource to find out what's going on in the community, and if you need other resources to help you in your personal or professional life.
Yeah, so we thank you for that question, because maybe somebody else out there was thinking it and just didn't want to type it, so we're really glad that you did. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to look into the work day and what it looks like.
All right, the work day. Share your schedule. Everyone should know your schedule. The parents or grandparents that you're serving, your family should know your schedule. And professionals, please stick to your schedule. We're so giving, we're so loving, but we almost will love ourselves to death. So keep a schedule that you are comfortable with, but also make it flexible. You need to address it in your contract. And I think we have a handout at the end that shows different things that you could put in a contract. Stick to your contract. Again, we can be flexible, but we would prefer for you to be flexible, but yet firm.
Don't be doormats.
Yes, be firm, and let your parents know that this is what the contract says, and most importantly, make sure they sign and understand the contract. Also ask questions of the parents or grandparents of the children that you're servicing, and ask them if they understand your contract, because sometimes people sign information or sign contracts and they do not fully understand what they're signing. And we also have to keep in mind that everyone doesn't have the ability to read well. So when you go over your contract, you want to ask questions to make sure that the parents or grandparents understand what they're signing. Charge late fees. Providers, we're professionals, and we do have another life. When you charge a late fee, stand firm and make sure that that late fee is paid. Plan ahead. This is your business. And holidays come up, sicknesses come up, funerals come up. So you want to have things in place to cover you. So we ask today that you plan ahead. You can plan ahead for sickness or for funerals. However, you need to have something in place in your contract that says what would be the procedure if these things would come up. Take vacations. I love this part, Miss Crystal. Take vacations. Well, they said, well, Darlene, I'll lose money if I take a vacation. You won't have any money if you don't take a vacation.
Right.
We're asking you today you can even do a stay vacation. Go somewhere within your city. Get a hotel room with a swimming pool. You need to get that exercise in. And enjoy yourself. But take vacations with your family. Let them know that you're in business at the home, but you still have a lot of love, and you want to show them some attention as well.
Just like those families take vacations, you as a provider, as an early childhood professional, have earned that time.
Yes. And lastly, be the boss. Be confident when you write your contract. Be firm with your information. But yet we say be flexible as well. But as Crystal said earlier, don't be a doormat. You're better than that. And remember, you are a professional.
All right, so we are going to we're going to pull into the activity stop and look back at our stressors that we ranked 1 through 5. We're going to ask ourselves some questions about these stressors. So why am I feeling stressed about this? So Am I feeling stressed because I don't have enough time? Am I feeling stressed because I don't have enough resources? Am I feeling stressed because there's a lot of external factors that I don't feel like I have control over? And how can I help myself work through this stressor to turn it into a positive? So if you're having a child that's having a difficult drop-off, what are some ways that you can help work through this to turn it into a positive? Is it talking to the family about some things to engage that child when they first come in? Is it a situation where one of the parents is possibly military out of the area, or changes in the household? What can you help to do to yourself to help you work through the stressor to turn it into a positive? But also, what are we doing to help this child or family work through this challenge? So sometimes it doesn't have to do with our families, our stressors, but sometimes it does. So asking ourselves these questions. So I want you guys to look through your rank 1 to 5 and just ask yourself these questions. We have somebody. All right, Miss Haida. I have a parent that does not leave on time. I tried everything to get her child to leave. She wants to stay and not go home. I have tried stickers, walking her outside, and linger, and I have expressed I need to cook and see you tomorrow, and it becomes a 20 to 30-minute process to get them to leave. What a wonderful compliment that they love you that much.
Yeah, you're awesome.
But at the same time, yes, you really do have to. So possibly prompting them with something that's going on tomorrow. You have to get ready for tomorrow. We're going to be doing this exciting activity, and we have to go home in order to come back tomorrow. So just giving them those verbal prompts to know, or preparing them when it's right before they get there. If the parent can offer you like a 5-minute warning, you can prompt them, the child, to kind of allow them to be prepared. Because kids are just like us. We need to kind of have prompts, right? When we have stuff going on, you've got to do you have your planner. You're going to have different activities that you're prepared for. Children are the same way. So hopefully that parent can work with you to get those verbal prompts. If not, then hopefully getting them to have that excitement about tomorrow will be a good way to do it.
I like that idea, Crystal. Also, you can tell the parent, wow, I have 3 minutes to talk with you because I have to get back to doing something else. Give them a time frame.
Absolutely.
Again, we have said before, you're the boss. And there's a wonderful way to communicate with our parents. But also give them a time frame. You can say, wow, that's some really good information. May I talk with you about that later? Or you're going to say, I have 2 minutes, then I have to get back to what I have to get accomplished. So we want everybody to be successful, but we really have to control the conversation.
Absolutely. And if the prompts don't work, remember, it's not going to be a 1 and 2 done activity. It takes 21 days to create a habit. So that's essentially what we're doing, is creating habits in our program to better ourselves. So we really want to be able to help those parents and guide them and their children along. All right.
Good question.
Yeah, great questions, guys. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to pull out of our activity stop and talk a little bit about parent communication. So that's a big part. It can be a big stressor for us. Some providers really feel uncomfortable having those difficult conversations with parents. So we have here some tips and tricks to having those conversations. Oh, yeah, no, we're not there yet. Oh, sorry, I apologize. So we are going to look at parent communication and, let's see, it's going to work here. There we go. So we are like family. So parent communication. So having those difficult conversations with parents sometimes can be challenging. And that can be, let's see, so Oreo method. So say you have something to tell a parent about something that whether it's child's having challenging behavior, or you need to have a payment that's possibly been missed, using that Oreo method. So look at the visual of an Oreo. You've got your cookies on each side and then the cream in the middle. So think of your cookies as your positive points. So you're going to share something good about their day, something that happened with that family or that child for that day, and then the cream in the middle is going to be the kind of uncomfortable part that you have to talk about. Janie had a great day at school today. We got to do this really fun activity. She shared with a friend when we participated with the Block Center. I was wondering possibly, there might be, maybe I missed it, but there was supposed to be a payment in the box today, but I didn't see it. Did you have a chance to get that in there? Oh, no, great, thank you so much. Well, on another note, We really enjoyed our outside time. We had magnifying glasses. Here's a picture of them using the magnifying glasses outside, and you kind of keep on moving. So using that Oreo method can really help not have such an uncomfortable conversation because you're anchoring it with two things that were really, really fun and positive. Also, one positive point per child. So as an early childhood educator, that was my goal, was to touch each of my families every day. I just wanted to share one positive note that I got to share with that child that day, and I wanted to share with that family. It can really reinforce a trusting bond during those times that can be a struggle. So, not every day is perfect. Things are going to come up, but when those things do come up, you have that foundation that you have laid with them. Also, notice how you are feeling. So during that uncomfortable conversation, are you frustrated that they haven't paid yet? Are you annoyed with them for being late? Are you, how are you feeling? Because a lot of times, just noticing how we are feeling allows us to control it better. We're identifying the emotion, just like with our children, right? They're learning to identify those emotions. So us walking them through, your face is red right now, your pulse is, beating very fast, you look like you're mad. Just taking a minute to identify how we are feeling, because sometimes that can be a big help when you're having that uncomfortable conversation. Also, looking at the interaction from the child's point of view. Just remembering that if it is a behavioral situation or if it is a payment situation, kind of being able to use our words and be professional and allow the parents to have that moment. Also asking for the parents' perspective. Like we said, problems arise, parents ask things of us or, oh, I noticed this happened, can we do this instead? Talking to them about their perspective and asking them, well, we've been doing it this way, how would you like to see it done? Or what were you thinking when you, asked about this or didn't do this? That way we can continue to build on understanding and have that, like we said, that lasting relationship when things do arise, when those uncomfortable conversations do arise. Also reassuring them. It goes a very long way. As childcare providers, we talked about the benefits. You are like family. You are the reason that they can go to work and feel comfortable about where their children are. So just reassuring them that when those uncomfortable conversations come up, that you are there to support them, to support their child, and it's very much like a co-parenting relationship. You guys are partnering together for the benefit of that child. And one of the ideas that you could do before we get, not necessarily with uncomfortable conversations, but just a tip or something to insert is a parent pop-in. So having like a little popcorn bar or just popping popcorn and having everybody, your families come and share and meet each other and be able to really connect on that basis is something that's really special that only you can provide as a family day home provider.
Good ideas.
We're going to talk a little bit about specifically, a lot of you do have military families in your area. Some of you do not, but for those providers that do, and maybe in the area, you never know when you might have somebody move into the area that's military. Ms. Arlene's going to talk to you guys about having those uncomfortable conversations or just challenges in general with communicating with those military families.
Thank you, Crystal. Working with military families. The first little nugget is get ahead of the game. Communication is very key in working with military families. My husband's retired Navy. Woo, go Navy. But you need to know when the deployments are going to happen because deployments change the dynamics in family cultures. So get ahead of the game. Talk to the parent as to when the upcoming deployments will take place. Be on the same page. We know that sometimes when a parent goes out to sea or has to transfer or TDY, it really puts a lot of emotions go into play with the parent as well as the child. So we need to be on the same page as to how we're going to let the child be successful even though that primary parent, whether it's the father or the mother or either the grandparent who's the caretaker, has to go away for a while. Create goals while the parent is gone. Let the child lead in that particular activity. What things would they like to send to their parent? Or what things would they like to accomplish?
Right.
And they can share with the parent once the parent comes back home.
Potty training, learning how to write their name.
Learning the alphabet,
Yeah.
learning numbers.
Absolutely.
How about being an artist, maybe
Yeah.
creating a wonderful art, whether using clay or paint, anything like that. Create an almost home calendar. These are the cutest, in my opinion. The almost home calendar, you get a calendar, and the child can either put stickers on the days of the week, or they can take a red marker and slash each day, and it's like a countdown until that parent comes home. Also, using technology as your friend. Skype, is that the right word, Miss Crystal?
Yes.
Yes.
Or FaceTime for those Apple users.
Yes, FaceTime,
Shameless
Skype.
plug for Apple.
Yes. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing to block out some time for that child to Skype or FaceTime that particular parent. That would help the child behavioral-wise and emotional. So that would help them with their social and emotional variables in their life. Also, before the parent leaves, if possible, have them to read a storybook and record it. So when the parent is deployed, you have that little recording that when the child gets upset, you could play the parent's voice, and that might soothe him or her. Again, we talked about the children's art care package. Wouldn't it be nice to have the address of the deployed parent, and maybe once a month send that parent a piece of artwork from the child? And you could work with the parent that's homebound to see how can we work together as a team to keep the family emotions up and just excited. And Hometown Heroes Board reflects all of the military, and we should on Veterans Day, or at least in that month, celebrate all of our military branches. One thing that I did as a Family Day home provider, I had my brother-in-law to come and speak to my young people about being in the Navy and the Navy pilots and things of that sort. That'll keep your program fresh, and you can have a time for the child to talk about what his or her parents do in the military.
Yep.
There's always something going on with the military, and we need to keep it up in front and make the child feel special as well as the family.
Absolutely. So we've talked about some difficult conversations and, some tips for a parent conversation. Now we're going to talk about how to insert happiness into our day, because as a family day home provider, you have to handle a lot of challenges. So how to dip into that joy jar and what that looks like. So we're going to say, look, happy day. Happiness is, so we're going to take a quick poll. What brings you happiness as a family child care home provider? We've got a couple of different options. One-on-one time with children, ability to work from home, being your own boss or that flexibility, and connecting with families. So you guys can take that poll. We're going to get the results and see what makes you guys the most happy. It's always nice to focus on the positive, right?
It is.
It's easy to sometimes focus on the negative. Sometimes it's hard to focus on the happiness. But when you do, it's an immediate brain change. All right, we've got numbers coming in.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like, Crystal, that everybody enjoys the ability to work from home. It's kind of tied with the one-on-one time with the children.
Yes, and I do understand that those of you that have called in are probably not going to be able to do that, and that's fine. Just think about what brings you guys the most happiness. We don't have to have it documented. All right, so let's see what our results is. Drum roll, please. And, look at that. Wow. One-on-one time with children. So that's really great, right? It's so nice to have that intimate, just fun. You really get to absorb every moment of their growth and development. So many of you have children that you've had since infancy, and you see them grow and develop and be successful when they go on to kindergarten, knowing that, again, you have had that foundation. You've built with those bricks. So that's really awesome. So we see, and then ability to work from home is a very close second.
Very strong.
Being your own boss and having that flexibility is so great, and connecting with families. So all of those are great ways that to bring happiness to, reasons that we really get into this field. All right. Thank you guys for participating in that.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
now we're going to talk about how to fill the joy jar. So a joy jar can be a figurative or it can be a literal thing. You can have literally a jar that you write down moments of joy in your day and you put in that jar. And at the end of the week or the end of the month or the end of the day, whatever it is that you prefer, you just reflect on that. So speaking of reflections, having that 10-minute reflection of the positive. At the end of your day, just thinking about those positives that you had during the day, whether it was a baby using the spoon for the first time, or the fun that the kids had cleaning up a mess that they made, or the adventure that you guys had outside. Whatever it is, just being able to reflect on that and to focus on that. Remember, it takes 21 days to make a habit, so doing this every day for 21 days will become a part of your routine.
Also, Crystal, if you enjoy journaling, journaling is wonderful. So you can write down your emotions, your feelings, and then you should go back and say, wow, we really did that.
Absolutely.
So journaling can be a really strong habit to have as well.
Absolutely. Rewarding yourself. So whether it's with a cup of tea in the afternoon or allowing yourself, that Chick-fil-A on Saturday, whatever it is that you want, rewarding yourself. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be a new KitchenAid mixer. It doesn't have to be, anything huge. It can just be something small that really means a lot to you and you having that reflection on you. Exercising your senses. So this can be something like a scented lotion, your favorite scent. So my favorite scent is the eucalyptus spearmint that Bed Bath & Body Works uses. It smells so good. So having that in my bathroom, when I wash my hands, that scent is, released. Or having a air freshener come on. It just depends on what that scent is, or maybe it's the smell of coffee that you have brewing. Whatever it is that you have, just inserting those things that you like. Visually, you can do plants if you really enjoy, if you have that green thumb.
Or painting rocks can be relaxing.
Absolutely. So anything to really exercise your senses as a provider. It looks like we have a question. So what if these prompts don't work? So I would say try the prompts first. So that's the biggest thing. So if you've tried the prompts and you're continuing to have those difficult conversations, then maybe it's time to refer to your contract if you are speaking about the end of day struggles of getting those kids to leave or come in late. So moving on to, keeping with our filling the joy jar, shaking up our routine. So remember we talked about the children and shaking up their routine, but sometimes shaking up our routine as providers. So maybe we are feeling it and we want to have some music. So you put on your favorite song, kid-friendly, for them to dance around to. Or we have different things that we're going to be doing as far as maybe meeting up with another group, or being able to have a guest speaker come in, somebody who wants to come in and show the kids how to make something special, or doing a field trip with them if you're able to do that. Any of those, just some things to shake up your routine. And then theme days. Theme days can be super fun. So maybe you have pajama day or a Polar Express day during the winter, or the day after the Super Bowl you have a pajama day because
your football.
Yes, your jersey, and you can do different things. So just having fun with the calendar, having fun with what you do, and being able to insert those theme days that shake things up a bit, so it's not the same old routine. Also filling the joy jar, something to make your day a little bit brighter, is working with an infant-toddler specialist. So both Darlene and I are infant-toddler specialists. You guys can check out the website, www.va-itsnetwork.org, to be able to hook up with an infant-toddler specialist in your area to kind of come in and just have some one-on-one time to maybe, if you're having a difficult time shaking things up, or you have some goals that you want to meet in your program, we would be happy to come and work with you.
Yes.
So you can get some more information, again, for those of you who are on the phone, at www.va-itsnetwork.org. So those are just some ways to insert some happiness into your day. Nothing big, nothing earth-shaking, just small things that you can do every day. So in review, we're going to surmise what we talked about a bit. So we defined the benefits and stressors of being a family child care home provider. So there's some good, and then there's those stressors. We also identified warning signs of burnout. Remember, the most important thing is to be honest with yourself. If you're feeling these things, this PowerPoint will be available on the website. So, just kind of, or if you've taken notes during it, just kind of looking at those notes and being honest with yourself. Identifying habits to prevent or heal burnout. So what are those habits from those different stressors that we talked about? And recognizing techniques to provide support to our families, because sometimes our families are a big part of that stressor, but we have to have those uncomfortable conversations, whether it be they've been late, or we're having a difficult time at drop-off and pickup, or maybe their payment is late, whatever those conversations might be that are uncomfortable. We did recognize some techniques to help support them. And also discussing ways to stay positive throughout the day. Filling your joy jar, how to fill the joy jar. And a lot of times, just being able to use those habits to prevent or heal that burnout can sometimes add, just little rays of sunshine to your day. And that's really what it's all about, especially during these winter days.
Exactly.
All right, so here we have
a weekly planner. Again, we're talking about organization. So we're challenging you today to use this weekly meal planner, make it easy, and it talks about your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack. Eating healthy is a major part of taking care of yourself as well as the children and your family day home. So with that particular slide that we have there, you can download it maybe and use it to your benefit.
Yep, these are available on the website. Also, we've got our family day home contract information. So this is below is the information that you should consider when you're creating with your contracts. This is also available on the website. So it tells you things to include. Just double check your contract to make sure that you are doing the best for yourself and your family. So Miss Darlene would like to read a beautiful poem that she found.
Yes, I have two, and because we're almost down to the wire. So the first one says, family child care is not babysitting. It's not comparable to any child care center. It's families in relationships with a professional care provider in an environment that becomes, by design, a second home. And a whole bunch of people partnering, trusting, caring, and educating each other.
Absolutely.
That's what a family child care home should be.
Absolutely.
And lastly, this poem is dear to my heart, and it reads, Daycare provider. Although I'm not their mother, I care for them each day. I cuddle, sing, and read to them and watch them as they play. I see each new accomplishment and help them grow and learn. I understand their language and listen with concern. They come to me for comfort, and I kiss away their tears. They proudly show their work to me. I give them the loudest cheers. I am not their mother, but my role is just as strong. I nurture them and keep them safe, though maybe not for long. I know someday the time may come when we will have to part, but I know each child I've cared for is forever in my heart.
That is beautiful and so true as our family day home providers. So the slide that you're seeing us right now, thank you so much, Darlene, for sharing those. We just wanted to remind you guys, the handouts and evaluation forms, you guys do have to send those in order to get your certificate for this training. So we want to make sure that you're going to the site to get those, and you must complete them for the credit. So again, those are on the website www.va-itsnetwork.org for those of you who are listening in but are unable to see the PowerPoint. So make sure that you get those handouts and evaluation forms. Also, as a reminder, we're going to talk to you guys soon. Our next Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network webinar is on bouncing babies, Modern Materials and Their Impact on Development in Infants and Toddlers. That is Thursday, April 12th at 1 p.m. So about a month away. So go ahead and mark your calendars now for those. Because
that's going to be good.
Absolutely. Good information. Also, we just wanted to say thank you for being here. So sometimes it's hard, we know, to get away from you, your responsibilities that you have in the day. So we just wanted to take the time and say thank you so much for being here. Remember, those evaluations and those handouts are on the website. Again, for those of you who are on the phone, I'm going to say it again, www.va-itsnetwork.org. We really appreciate you guys being here.
Yes.
We hope you have a great rest of your day. And we will be
talking. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Early.
Yes, we'll talk to you guys very soon.